My name is Francesca Corbacho, and I'm a staff attorney with Legal Services of the Hudson Valley in the Immigration Practice Group. Legal Services of the Hudson Valley provides free civil legal assistance to those who need it on matters where basic human needs are at stake. What that means for the immigrant community is that we can provide services in immigration and family law services to immigrants regardless of their documentation status, provided that the client has been the victim of a crime. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about the Greenlight Law, the New York State law that allows all persons who are residents of New York to obtain a New York State driver's license regardless of their immigration status. To begin, bear in mind right now that all DMVs are currently closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but you can still study for the written test and take practice tests online, and you can work on getting all your documentation together to prove your identity and New York residency. And we're going to talk a little bit more about those things later. Oh, so the Greenlight Law provides that as of December 16th, 2019, anyone, regardless of immigration status, can apply for a New York State standard driver's license, provided that they go through the same application process, take the same tests, that's the written test and the road test, and pay the same fees as any other New York State applicant. There are tremendous benefits to obtaining a driver's license, not just for the licensee, but for everybody. Those benefits include greater safety on the road, greater income for the state through license and registration fees, and lower instances of uninsured drivers. There's a similar program in New Mexico, and studies showed that prior to implementation of the licensing program, there was over a 33% incidence of uninsured drivers. After the program was implemented, that dropped to less than 9%. It's going to also benefit the immigrant community tremendously. It's going to dramatically reduce the consequences of getting a ticket. Now, simply for an undocumented person, a traffic ticket is a traffic ticket. It's not a possible route to being placed into removal proceedings. It's going to increase the immigrant community's access to better jobs, schools, healthcare, places of worship, and of course, family and friends and loved ones. You're also going to be able to obtain car insurance. So, let's talk a little bit about the standard driver's license. It's one of the three types of license that New York State already offers. Many New Yorkers already have this kind of license. It's important to know that it's not only for people without immigration documents. Um, Important thing to note is that the standard driver's license will say not for federal use, and that means that it cannot be used for things such as domestic air travel. Again, it is for simply for the purposes of being able to drive legally. So, privacy concerns, obviously, it's a huge concern. The bad news first, DMV asks everyone for proof of their physical address. A P.O. box is not going to be sufficient, even if you use a P.O. box as your mailing address. You'll still be required to provide a physical address. And that's true not just for the immigrant community, but for anybody who applies for a New York State driver's license. However, there have been certain protections put into place and written into the Greenlight Law. For example, DMV cannot scan and keep copies of your source documents. They can't ask you about your immigration status when you apply for a standard driver's license. Without a judicial warrant, DMV cannot disclose anyone's sensitive information, including their country of origin. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the actual process of getting a standard driver's license. I'd like to just let everybody know that there are some counties that are actively opposed to this program, and those offices should be avoided. For the most part, those counties are not anywhere near the Hudson Valley, with the exception of Rensselaer County. So there's also several counties, including Albany County, where DMV is run directly by the state. So my advice, I would just provide the information that if somebody is in Rensselaer County, it might be a good idea to go to Albany County across the river, where that is the DMV is run by the state. So there are some basic steps to getting a driver's license. You have to study for and pass the written test. Study materials are available in English and in Spanish, and the test itself is available in 14 different languages. For people who don't speak either English or Spanish, it has been noted that using an online translation tool is very helpful with the study materials. So when you go for your written test, That's when you're going to be asked to provide your 6 points of ID. And now for the immigrant community, those points of ID include a valid foreign passport, valid foreign consular ID, foreign driver's license, valid or expired within 24 months, a foreign school report card or school record with photo, U.S. municipal ID with photo, and tax documents such as an IRS tax transcript, tax return, ITIN letter, a U.S. high school ID card. And if you have any questions about this, there's a big long list of source documents available at the DMV website. After you've passed your written test, you'll be required to take a 5-hour pre-licensing course, which you'll be given a certificate that you need to hang on to. There are many programs through community colleges that provide these 5-hour licensing courses at a relatively low cost. After which you'll schedule an appointment for your road test, and you bring that certificate from the 5-hour course to your test. Just bear in mind, again, as I said, currently these offices are all closed. However, I would encourage everyone to get their documents together and start practicing for that written test and become a licensed driver. And thank you very much.